wanted to share some things that I have been loving over the last little while here. I meant to film a 2020 favorites and then I didn't, and now it's already February. So instead, this is going to be a things that I've been loving recently. It's a lot of random stuff. I've got some just lifestyle favorites, some snack favorites, a couple of beauty products. Yeah, just random stuff. So I thought I would go ahead and share with you guys things that I have been loving recently. So the first thing, I feel like my makeup routine has not changed very much in the last full year. I've been using pretty much the same products over and over again. I don't feel like I've branched out that much and tried new things all that much, but one thing that I have added to my routine that I really, really love is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Powder Foundation. This I have in the color R260. And this I got just kind of on a whim when I went to a new Sephora that opened in my town. So it is a very basic looking powder, but I have been using powder foundation most of the time. Since I work at a school, I have to wear a mask all the time, and I feel like regular foundation is just going to rub all over that, but I don't feel like I have that issue with powder foundation as much. I have oily skin, and I feel like this is a really great powder that gives really nice coverage. I feel like I don't get overly oily throughout the day, and I definitely love this one, and it's lasted quite a while. I started alternating with a different powder, so I haven't been using this one as much, but I do feel like this one is an excellent one if you do have oilier skin. The only other beauty product that I have really right now is a shampoo and conditioner. These are the Maui Moisture, and this is the Heal and Hydrate and Shea Butter line, so this is for dry, damaged hair. These I actually got because my mother-in-law encouraged me to try them out when I was visiting her. And these are super, super nice. I feel like they smell really good and my hair feels amazing after I've used them. So this one I got, these were the same price because this one's a 50% more one, but I would definitely repurchase these. I'm always happy to use them because my hair feels super nice and soft and looks shiny when I'm using it. I feel like this is better than most of the shampoos I've been using in the last year, so I adore these. So that is it for makeup and beauty products, which feels really weird to me, but I just feel like I have not found things in the last year that have changed that much. So on to kind of fashion-y lifestyle favorites here. The one clothing item that I felt like was really necessary to mention is a Sunita item, which if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you know Sunita is an absolute favorite of mine. It is an athletic brand owned by two sisters out of Arizona. I own a lot of their stuff. I wear Sunita almost every day, and I work out twice a day. Right now I'm working on becoming a certified personal trainer. So I work out in the morning for myself, and then I go do some trainings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I have a lot of workout clothes that I wear a lot of the time, but they are still an absolute favorite. But recently, one thing that I have absolutely loved is the Sunita Hailey crop. So this one is one of their cropped shirts. It is super plush and soft and comfy and cozy. It has thumb holes on the sleeve. I have this one in pink and gray, and then I have a full-length one that's not cropped like this one in black. They have a cropped one in black that I'm tempted to buy. I will probably buy these in most colors because they are one of my favorite things to wear all the time. Right now it has been snowing and cold. I did a challenge in January where I was outside for at least a mile every single day, and this was a perfect layering piece to keep me warm without being overly warm. It's a perfect lounging piece. I absolutely love these. I would highly recommend them. They're a little bit on the higher side of price point for Sunita. Most Sunita stuff is really affordable. This one's a little bit more expensive, but I think they are worth it because they are just so cozy and comfortable, and I absolutely adore them. Next up, let's do food items. So I have a few food items that are mostly protein based that I have been loving recently. So the first thing, and I've mentioned these a few times in Empties videos as well, are the protein cookie butter powders. So these are just mix-in powders that you can add to a lot of different things. You can put it in yogurt, you can put it in oatmeal, you can put it in protein waffles. I've done protein dough bites before. I've done protein donuts before, lots of different stuff. I most of the time end up using this in yogurt, so it ends up being mixed in with plain Greek yogurt to give it some flavor. This one is the cookies and cream flavor, which I absolutely love. It does feel like a treat almost when I get to use this, and it's 6 grams of protein added, less than a gram of sugar added in these. There are different levels of how much protein is in different flavors. So this one is one of my other favorites. This is the apple pie flavor. and this one has 10 grams of protein. I have these in a ton of different flavors. There's only been a handful of flavors that I haven't liked. The blueberry something, blueberry pastry and red velvets weren't my favorites, but pretty much everything else I've had I've loved from them. These two, cookies and cream and apple pie, are some of my absolute favorites. There's one that tastes like Fruit Loops that's really good. Cinnamon roll, there's a ton of really good ones. So I keep buying these. I tend to buy like 5 at a time and keep them around, and I alternate them with my yogurt. I absolutely love them. They're good. They make it feel like it's a treat when I'm having something that's still pretty healthy for me, and it's a way just to amp up my protein intake. I had a friend ask if you can taste, like if it tastes kind of like protein powder, which it kind of does, but I still think it's super delicious and I'm happy to add it into my diet. Then I have 2 different types of protein bars. I have tried all sorts of different protein bars before, and some of them just have textures and consistencies that I am not into, but there are 2 that I found that I absolutely love. So the first one is a lower calorie version. So this one is the Built Bar. They have changed the formula and consistency of these. So if you tried them a little while back, they were like, they stuck to your teeth really badly and they were a lot chewier. These are still on the chewy side, but they're a lot less chewy than they used to be. I have 2 main favorite flavors of these that I've tried. The first one is mint brownie. So if you are a Thin Mint fan, like a Girl Scout cookie Thin Mint fan, this is for you. This tastes exactly like a Thin Mint to me. So I love these as like a lower calorie treat. These are only 130 calories, but they have 17 grams of protein in them. I'm a big fan of this one, and my other favorite is cookies and cream. So those I like to have as like a treat and like a extra added protein snack that I usually have these in the afternoon. But those are my 2 favorite flavors that I've tried. Usually there's codes and things that go along with them. You can find codes from a lot of influencers online. A lot of people really like these. They are smaller, so they're more like a candy bar size than they are like a big protein, but it is just a little extra boost. But cookies and cream and mint brownie are definitely my faves that I've tried. And then my other favorite protein bar that I found are the One Bars, and these are a very different consistency than a lot of the protein bars that I've tried. So my favorites that I've tried, I think, are this one. This is the cinnamon roll, I think, and then this one is the butter pecan. These have like a coating on the outside, but they're not as chewy. These are heavier in calories, so these are 230 both, I think. Yeah, both of these are 230. These I bought on Amazon in their packs because they're more expensive on their own. So I think usually they're like $2 if you buy them singularly at a store. The packs that I bought on Amazon for a deal of the day was a lot better deal, but these are my favorites that I've tried from them. I really like the consistency of these, so I use these as my snack on afternoons that I'm going to go coach through a training session when I go straight from school to my coaching stuff and I need more calories. This is usually what I reach for, as opposed to the Built Bars, which are a tiny little snack. These have 20 grams of protein and only 1 gram of added sugar, so I feel like these are a good choice as compared to some of the protein bars that have a lot of added sugars or that just have a lot of extra other stuff. Like this is usually, I'm looking for more protein and less sugar. Things like the Quest bars and stuff like that I feel like have more sugar in them than these bars. So those 2 sets of bars are my favorites. And another thing that I have been loving recently is my planner, and this is from Silk and Saunders. So they are a planner company that I only bought because I saw them on Instagram. I'm easily influenced by Instagram ads, but their planners are super, super cute. So like they have all of these habit tracking things at the front. They have a reflection, they have intentions that you can set up, mood trackers, habit trackers, sleep trackers. Like there's a lot of different pieces to this that are at the front that are set up, and things to encourage you to have self-care. Like there's a self-care bingo exercise that's super cute. They have just a lot of really neat stuff at the front, and they go monthly. So on a daily basis here, you can do like your weekly tracker, and then this is the one that I just use the most. Is just like a basic one thing. What was the weather? What did you do that day? These are so cute though. They're a little on the spendy side, so I bought it because there was a deal, and so I got 3 months for $30, I think, but they are more expensive regularly. I really, really like this, and I'm excited to have, you know, the February and March one. I started watching somebody on TikTok that does a bullet journal that's kind of similar to this, but like you set it up in your own way. And I kind of like the idea of that. So if you are into bullet journaling and you have any suggestions, let me know that in the comments down below, because that's something I think I might want to get into now that I've played with this format a little bit more. I'm undecided, but that seems like a lot of commitment. But this is kind of nice just to have all those pieces set up already and just build from there. I don't know. I think it's fun though. It's just a really pretty planner, and it's got some ideas that encourage me to reflect on things that I might not otherwise. That's it for tangible items. The other things that I wanted to mention are just things that I've been enjoying that are not tangible items. So the first thing that I'm going to mention before I forget is Ted Lasso, which is a TV show on Apple Plus. Apple Plus? Apple TV. Apple TV, that's the one. All right, so Ted Lasso is a show that stars Jason Sudeikis as this football coach that moves from the Midwest in the United States over to England, and he's been hired to be this soccer coach over there, and he's never coached soccer before. He doesn't really know what he's doing, and he's supposed to essentially tank the team. That's what the woman hired him to do, because he doesn't know that, but that's what she wanted him to do because he's never done it before. It is such a feel-good show. It is so endearing, and it is not something that I thought I would like when I first started to watch it, but I absolutely ended up adoring it. I've watched it twice through. I've encouraged my friends to watch it, and they love it. It's so good, and I love Ted Lasso. He's just like such a positive character. It's so good. So if you haven't watched it yet, I would highly, highly recommend it. It's probably one of my favorite TV shows that I've watched in the last like 5 years, honestly. It's so good, and I can't wait for season 2 to come out. I've been working on reading a lot more in the last year or so. So I started reading more because of 75 Hard. You had to read at least 10 pages of nonfiction every day. I restarted 75 Hard this year and then kind of quit because I just don't have the time for it right now. But because of that, I started reading a book called Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell, which I really, really enjoyed, and I didn't think I was going to. So it's basically a book about how we interpret other people based on our own perception of things. So like we assume that people are going to act a certain way because that's how we would react, and it's not always the case. And so understanding other people and all these misinterpretations that we have because of those ideas. And it's just like a lot of different case studies of those types of examples. It was super interesting, and it was not something I thought I would get into, but it was very, very well written, and I enjoyed it a lot. Because of that, I'm going to go on and read some of his other books. I'm reading David and Goliath right now, which is not as engaging to me as Talking to Strangers was, but I still think it's kind of interesting. I'm also allowing myself just some fun reads in there too. So I recently read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, which was like a romance that a lot of people I watch on BookTube had recommended, and I liked it a lot. It reminded me of like fan fiction reads that I've read, and I realized that I should read more silly romance books because I actually really like fan fiction and a lot of those silly tropes like the fake dating tropes and things like that. So I really, really enjoyed that one. They're making it into a movie that Lucy Hale is going to be in, so I'm actually pretty excited about that. It's just like a silly romance book from enemies to lovers, and it was really, really good. I enjoyed that one a lot. I'm reading some other ones. I've had a couple other like romance books that I've read that aren't as good. I'm not into. There's one I'm reading right now that I'm going to finish, but is honestly kind of like a 2-star read for me. So if you have any good, like if you liked The Hating Game, and if you have any good recommendations for like similar-ish romance reads that you would highly recommend, leave those in the comments for me, because that's something I'm looking for. That's not a genre that I've read a lot of, and so I don't know where to start, but I really, really liked that one. Taylor Swift, obviously. She had released Folklore the last time that I filmed a favorites video, I think, and then she went on to release Evermore in a surprise release in December, and I think that is probably my most listened to album in a few years. I don't think there's very many songs on that album that I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of Dorothea, but pretty much every other song on the album I'm happy to listen to. I think it was so well done. I love Marjorie, that's one of my absolute favorites. Coney Island is amazing. Champagne Problems, Gold Rush, like it's such a good album. I absolutely love it. I think Evermore is my favorite Taylor Swift album of all of her albums. It's a very good vibe for what I like right now, I guess, and it's just well done. I'm a big fan. So I absolutely love that album. I thought that that was fantastic. I've really been loving the song Future X by Abigail Barlow, who is like the big person on TikTok who's doing the Bridgerton musical on TikTok, if you follow any of that. But I really like her singles too. She has Heartbreak Hotel that came out this summer that I really liked, and then Future X is like her more recent pop single that she released. And it's just like a good jam that I like to listen to get me pumped up before I do stuff. It's just kind of a fun one. What else? I think those are like the main things recently. I feel like my life has been a lot of snow and studying and reading, and that's kind of been my life recently, which is fine. We're in the middle of a pandemic. It is what it is. But yeah, I think that's it. Just random stuff. I would love to know if there's anything that you have been loving recently that you would like to share in the comments down below, or if you have any good romance read recommendations similar to The Hating Game that you think I should read. Let me know that in the comments down below as well. I hope you guys are having a great start to your February. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.